Let me tell you something strange about certain people. When they're sick, really sick, fever burning, body aching, they'll still insist they're fine. When they're struggling, drowning in problems they can't solve alone, they'll wave away every offered hand. When someone tries to help them, truly help them, they feel something that looks like gratitude, but underneath pulses with discomfort, almost shame. Maybe you are someone like that. Maybe you've sat there hurting while someone who cares about you asks what's wrong, and you've heard yourself say nothing, even though everything inside you is screaming. Maybe you've pushed away concern like it's something you don't deserve to hold. Why is it so impossibly hard to let yourself be cared for? It's easy to assume this is humility, that you're just being strong, independent, not wanting to burden anyone. But that's not the full picture, is it? Because this isn't about strength. It's not even about other people. It's about a belief you carry so deep you might not even recognize it as a belief anymore. It feels like truth. The belief that you are fundamentally unworthy of care, that your needs are too much, that love and attention are resources you haven't earned the right to consume. And beneath the surface, there's an entire architecture of self-protection at work, a psychology built from years of learning that to need is to be vulnerable, and to be vulnerable is to risk a rejection you're not sure you could survive. You've learned to make yourself small in very specific ways. When someone asks how you are, you reflexively say good or fine, even when you're falling apart. When you're in pain, physical or emotional, you minimize it. It's not that bad. Other people have it worse. I'm okay, really. You apologize for taking up space, for having needs, for existing in a way that might require something from someone else. When someone gives you a gift, compliments you, offers help, there's this immediate urge to deflect, to reject, to return the gesture so the balance is restored and you don't owe anything. You don't hold kindness well. It sits in your hands like something borrowed that you need to give back quickly before anyone notices you took it. Psychologists have a term for this: emotional poverty mindset. It's the internalized belief that care, attention, and love are scarce resources that you don't have enough credit to access. You can give them freely to others, you do, constantly, but receiving them yourself feels like theft. The internal narrative runs on repeat. I don't deserve to take up space. My problems aren't important enough. I should be able to handle this myself. I'm being dramatic. I'm too much. Research on self-worth shows something fascinating. People who struggle to receive care don't actually lack the capacity for connection. They lack the belief that connection is something they're entitled to. Studies on receiving behavior demonstrate that individuals with low self-worth experience physical discomfort, actual stress responses when others try to care for them. Their bodies treat kindness like a threat. So where does this come from? How does a person learn that their own needs are something to be ashamed of? Usually it starts early, very early. Imagine a child who cries and is met with irritation instead of comfort. A child whose needs for attention, for reassurance, for help are treated as inconveniences. Maybe the adults in their life were overwhelmed, exhausted, dealing with their own pain. Maybe love was given conditionally. I'll care about you when you're good, when you're quiet, when you're not too much. The child learns an equation that will follow them for decades. My needs equal burden. They notice the relief on a parent's face when they stop crying, the approval they receive for being so independent and no trouble at all. They learn that the version of themselves that requires the least is the version that gets loved the most. So they become that version. They become the child who doesn't ask for anything, who handles everything alone, who comforts themselves in the dark and tells no one they're scared. They watch other children receive care freely and wonder what's wrong with them, that they can't seem to do the same without feeling like they're stealing. You become the strong one, the reliable one, the one who gives and never, ever asks for anything in return. Not because you're naturally selfless, but because somewhere along the way, you learned that your needs make you unlovable. And that lesson doesn't just disappear when you grow up. It calcifies. It becomes the foundation of how you move through the world. Here's what people see when they look at you: someone capable, independent, strong, someone who has it together, who doesn't need anyone, who handles everything with quiet competence. Here's what they don't see: the loneliness, the exhaustion of performing in vulnerability every single day. The part of you that desperately wants someone to notice you're struggling without you having to say it out loud. People see your independence. They don't see the cost of that independence. Because being completely self-sufficient isn't freedom, it's a prison you've built where the bars are made of the belief that needing people makes you weak. You've become so good at taking care of yourself that no one thinks to take care of you. And you've become so uncomfortable with receiving care that even when someone tries, you can't let them in. There's a psychological concept called counterdependency. It's the opposite of what we usually think of as dependency issues. Instead of clinging to people, you push them away through extreme self-reliance. You reject intimacy by rejecting the vulnerability that comes with being cared for. And here's the paradox: you want care deeply. The part of you that learned to expect rejection is the same part that still hopes, quietly, that someone will see through your armor. But wanting it and being able to receive it are two completely different things. When someone does insist on caring for you when they see past your "I'm fine" and push gently anyway, you feel two things at once: relief and terror. Relief because finally someone sees you. Terror because what if they see too much? What if you let them close and they realize you're not worth the effort? This belief shapes everything about how you relate to other people. In relationships, you're always the caretaker. You're drawn to people who need you because being needed feels safer than being wanted. You know how to give love, but you don't know how to receive it without immediately trying to earn it or return it. You test people without meaning to. You push them away to see if they'll stay. You hide your struggles to see if they'll notice anyway. And when they don't, because how could they? When you've gotten so good at hiding, it confirms what you already believed: that you're alone, that no one really cares, that you were right not to burden them. Neuroscience research on attachment shows us that early relationship patterns literally wire the brain. When care was inconsistent or conditional in childhood, your brain develops heightened threat detection around intimacy. The very thing you need: connection, care, being seen triggers the same neural pathways as danger. So when someone is kind to you, when they offer help or express concern, there's this specific pain that comes with it. It's not just discomfort. It's the collision between what you want and what you believe you deserve. Between the part of you that's starving for care and the part of you that learned hunger is shameful. You might find yourself crying at small acts of kindness: someone remembering how you take your coffee, a friend checking in when you're quiet, someone saying, "You don't have to be okay right now." The tears come because kindness cracks something open. It touches the wound you've been protecting so carefully. And here's what's even more interesting: you probably give to others with extraordinary generosity. You show up for people, remember details, offer help before it's asked for, because you know intimately what it feels like to need care and not receive it. So you make sure no one around you ever feels that way. But you've split the world into two categories: people who deserve care and you. Let me be clear about something. This doesn't mean you're broken. This doesn't mean you're damaged beyond repair or that something is fundamentally wrong with you. What you're experiencing is a survival strategy, a brilliant, adaptive response to an environment that taught you that your needs were unwelcome. When love is conditional, when care is scarce, when vulnerability leads to rejection, you learn not to be vulnerable. You learn to need nothing. You learn to shrink yourself so small that no one could possibly be burdened by you. That took incredible strength. That took courage. Even if it doesn't feel like it now, even if it feels like cowardice, it's not. It's the opposite. The part of you that refuses care, that insists, "I'm fine," that can't accept help without feeling guilty, that part was trying to protect you. It kept you safe when safe meant being invisible. It helped you survive when survival meant not needing anything from anyone. But here's the philosophical truth underneath all of this. Maybe your refusal to burden others isn't selflessness. It's a form of self-protection you learned when love felt conditional, when you had to earn the right to be cared for, when being too much meant being abandoned. You've spent so long believing that your needs make you unlovable that you've forgotten needs are what make you human. That vulnerability isn't weakness, it's the foundation of every genuine connection you'll ever have. That letting someone care for you isn't taking something from them. It's giving them the gift of mattering to you. Your unworthiness isn't truth. It's a story you were told, implicitly or explicitly, by people who couldn't give you what you needed. And you believed it because children always blame themselves. Because it felt safer to believe you were the problem than to accept that the people who were supposed to care for you simply couldn't. Think back to that image from the beginning. You, sick or struggling, pushing away help, insisting you're fine when you're not. Here's what I want you to understand. You deserved care then, when you were small and scared and learning that your needs were too much. You deserved care. You deserved to be held without having to earn it. You deserved to cry without being made to feel like a burden. And you deserve it now. Your needs are not negotiable. They are not too much. They are not evidence of weakness or failure. They are what make you human. Every person you've ever loved has needed something. Every person who has ever loved you has wanted to give you something. That's what love is, the exchange of care, freely given and received. You don't have to believe you deserve it for it to be true. Worthiness isn't something you earn. It's something you were born with, something that can't be taken away no matter how many times someone treated you like it could. So the next time someone reaches toward you with care, and your first instinct is to pull away, to minimize, to insist you're fine, remember, the fact that you don't believe you deserve it doesn't make it any less true. You are not too much, you never were, and the people who love you aren't keeping score.